Yesterday we talked about one of my favorite words, relentless. Relentless, persistent, inexorable, ceaseless, constant. We get after it every single day. But another absolutely favorite word of mine is resilience. I love that word. I love the word resilience. You know, there's that scene in the movie Rocky Balboa where he talks about how life ain't about how hard you can hit. Life's about how hard you can get hit and keep getting up. He's talking to his son. And his son in the film's a bit spoiled, has expectations that he's owed things. And he's complaining to Rocky about how, he never asked for all of this attention in his life. He never asked for all of this media speculation coming down on him because Rocky's the superstar. And that it's getting in the way of his life and the impressions people have on him. If I remember correctly, I haven't seen this film in a long time. But ultimately, Rocky tells him, you got to make your own way. No one owes you nothing. And nothing in this life is going to hit as hard as life. There's no one. There's nothing that smashes into you as hard as life does. And it does it at the most unexpected times. It does it sometimes when everything's going great. You think you got it all figured out. You think you got the world by the balls. You think you got the world in the palm of your hand. And then tragedy strikes. Something comes out of left field. And you don't know how to handle it. 7 years, 9 months ago, I thought I was doing well. I thought everything was going good. I lived a pretty decent life, as far as I thought, making good money, good career, good colleagues, respect, known in an industry, worked out all the time, was starting to lose weight. Actually, prior to this point in my life, I was doing a lot of partying. I was doing a lot of going out with colleagues, a lot of drinking. But I was trying to get in shape, and I was coming down from 220 some odd pounds. I was coming down, I think I was probably about 205 or something like that. Now I'm 5'6", right? So at 5'6", that's a fair bit of weight, especially when you consider right now I hover between, depending on the day, anywhere between 150 and 153 or 154. I rarely am at 155, lately that is. And usually over the weekend, because I do a lot more activity, a lot more walking, I'll wake up in the morning, I'll clock in at 149. That's okay, because I don't want any body fat. So I still got some more body fat to lose. And on this old broken down body, I got some loose skin from when I was very heavy. Man, I've been as heavy as 240. That's the heaviest I've ever been, but that was many years ago. But I've been rolling around in the past at 230, 225, easy. And yeah, I like to lift weights, so I was big and bulky, but I was also bloated and fat, and I drank a lot. went out with the boys a couple nights a week, put down 6, 7, 8 pints on the weekends. Definitely put down at least 8 pints of beer in a weekend on a Saturday. So you take a Saturday and a Sunday, and I'm clocking in at 16 pints of beer. Are you kidding me? So I was bloated. But I got to a point where I was losing some weight, feeling decent, feeling good. Again, everything was kind of going steady Eddie. And then I get diagnosed with kidney cancer. I got this giant, massive tumor sitting on my kidney. And why did I go in? This is something that you need to know if you're a man and you're feeling swelling in your groin, especially around the veins that lead to the testicles. You feel some swelling there? A lot of people have this. Get it checked out, because what the doctor did was, by the way, I've had this for decades. I never thought anything about it. But I figured, you know what? It's more swollen than usual. Let me get it checked out. Doctor goes in there, and he's like, he lays me down after he's feeling around, feeling the swelling. Then he has me lay flat down, and he starts pressing in on my abdomen. Doesn't make like anything's wrong, but he has me going for an ultrasound. He's like, sometimes, they call this he said, they call this swelling in the veins that lead to the testicles, they call it a varicocele. Very common, he says. But sometimes it has something to do with the kidney, so we want to get it checked out. Let's do an ultrasound. But he plays it off. Now, let me tell you what he felt, because I felt it once I found out, and once I lost some weight. But he felt when he pressed in there, when he went in like that, he felt a grapefruit size, hard as a softball, maybe as a hard ball, because that's what it felt like to me. He felt a tumor, but he played it off. Didn't lead me. I had no idea. Anyway, I get the ultrasound, comes back, says to me, you got a grapefruit-sized tumor on your kidney. It's got to be removed. And so all of a sudden, I go down a rabbit hole. For 24 hours, I am in the darkest depths, thinking all sorts. The most horrible, depressing thoughts you could think about, leaving your family, the wife who you love dearly, the children who you love so much, and that who you take care of. My God, what if I'm not around for them? It's a sickening pit of your stomach feeling, the lump in your throat kind of feeling, the kind of feeling of hopelessness and despair. Why me? 24 hours later, I'm looking for ways to conquer cancer, defeat cancer, smash cancer, crush cancer, overcome cancer. You name it, I'm getting after it. It took me 24 hours. And then I knew that my coworker was an ordained minister, and something came over me, and I said, save me. Save me, save me. She laid hands on me, and I was reborn in that moment. And so one of my favorite words is resilience, because since then, so I had that tumor ripped out, I had my kidney ripped out, cancer came back a year and a half ago. In my liver, we had a 2 centimeter size, that's not that big, but it's a 2 centimeter size tumor in my liver. We had a chunk of my liver ripped out. And then recently, I've been having liver issues. It's not related to the surgery. My liver function returned. To give you an idea of what that looked like, the 2 enzymes they monitor, ALT and AST, that's a metric of liver function. And really those numbers shouldn't be too far above like mid-30s, 40, that kind of thing. Anyway, after the liver surgery, my ALT was up over 800. Severe liver damage, right? They cut a chunk of it out. And so the body starts letting this enzyme loose, ALT. And then it starts letting AST as well loose. That shouldn't be any higher Then again, in the 30s probably, it's at well over 600. All of that came back to normal. I think my ALT got down to 77 from being over 800, so I was healing up nice. So, and that was about a year after the surgery, and then all of a sudden my liver enzymes start skyrocketing, my liver function starts skyrocketing. I was taking some medication for my foot. Ridiculous, never checked out the side effects. Let that be a lesson. Check out the side effects of everything you're taking. I preach that, and yet I thought, what could a foot cream do? I didn't take my own advice, didn't look into it. If I would have looked into it, I found out later, massively affects liver function. I got right off of that, but since then, we've noticed a few things. We have my liver function. We've been monitoring that for like 8 months now, and I dove deep into the research, how to fix my liver. I got on TUDCA, I got on quercetin, I got on IP6. You want to learn about something amazing when it comes to, I've done so much research over the past 7 years, 9 months. Probably one of the most powerful things I found is something called inositol hexaphosphate, IP6. I did a podcast on this absolutely miraculous nutrient. I looked into it to figure out how to remove iron from the body, because one of the things we found in all the blood work we've been doing is that my iron is super high. And one thing I do know from all the research I've done when it comes to cancer, that iron is a massive driver of cancer. Believe it or not, iron accumulation, iron overload, iron storage in excess amounts destroys the cells, and it causes cancer, it drives cancer, and it allows cancer to multiply faster, gain more nutrients, and replicate and proliferate and grow. You don't want iron accumulation in the body. Plus, it F's up your liver because it destroys cells. It's toxic to the cells in excess amounts. And so we're seeing, when they're checking me out and testing me out, that we're seeing super high ferritin levels, which is the protein that stores iron in the liver. Hey, maybe that's what's causing my liver enzymes to go up, or maybe it's a reaction, the high ferritin levels and the high liver enzymes is a reaction to the foot medication I was taking. Maybe that's it. What in God's name is going on? So we've been monitoring. Either way, I knew I had to get the iron out. I had to lower my iron. My ferritin levels were up. It shouldn't be any higher than 400. But if you listen to my podcast with Morley Robbins, the Alpha Human podcast, check it out with Morley Robbins. You're going to learn a lot about iron and how it drives cancer and how it drives a lot of problems. It's toxic, toxic, toxic. And so I mainly researched IP6 and quercetin to remove iron from the body, to lower my ferritin levels. But also, it turns out that IP6, inositol hexaphosphate, not only a great chelator of iron, a great way to remove toxic iron from the body, it also turns out in studies, and by the way, everything I'm talking about here is backed up by studies, it also turns out to be an incredible anti-cancer nutrient. I did a podcast on IP6 with Dr. Shamsuddin, who is the world-renowned expert, who's done over 100 studies on cancer and IP6. Check out my podcast, Alpha Human Podcast. Check out that interview. It will be enlightening for all those with cancer. You need to check it out. I was taking IP6 to remove iron from the body, but also as an anti-cancer nutrient. Anyway, resilience, resilience, resilience. It's one of my favorite words. How do you gain resilience when you're being smashed from pillar to post by life? Where does the resilience come from? I've always had it. I've always had it. But over the last 7 years and 9 months, the most trying period and most trying challenge of my life, my colleague who is an ordained minister laying hands on me, being reborn, finding Christ, and especially after the cancer came back in my liver, praying, just also being grateful, but praying all of this time, 7 years, 9 months, praying for Christ's healing energy and visualizing it. Reading books on visualization, learning how to visualize, but really finding my own path to Christ and visualizing Him healing me, energizing me with His healing love, and my God, seeing the signs from Christ come into my life as I get stronger, as I heal, as I see His healing energy every single day when I come here to do my workouts, get into flow state, make that connection, see His golden healing love and energy enter me and radiate outwards, blasting out, evaporating, disintegrating, all disease, all negativity in my life and making me healthy, making me strong, making me cancer-free, keep me cancer-free. I am healed. I am truly healed, both physically, mindset-wise. Actually, not just both. There's one more. Healed spiritually, because I was fortunate to find my way to Christ. And now I walk with Christ. And I vow to him that I am here now. My true purpose in life is to spread his message of healing love and healing energy and what he has done for me. That through all of this, being knocked pillar to post, smashed around by cancer, overcoming it twice, dealing with liver issues, seeing my liver enzymes come from 880 down to 77, then back up to 200, and what did it get up to? Like 280, I think. Now back down with the help, in my estimation, for me, I've been taking IP6, I've been taking quercetin, and I've been taking Tudka. Brought it down, ALT from 280s down to 50, I think it was 58. AST down from 95 to 53. Come on! ALT down to 88, AST down to 53. Are you kidding me? That's Christ opening the path for me, clearing the path and inspiring me to find solutions, because Christ helps those who help themselves, and you have to be in the game, you have to be in the fight, you can't be a passenger, you have to be the driver. Christ, like that song goes, will take the wheel. I surrender to Christ, I hand my life and total control over all circumstances of my life to Christ. I live for him, I live to glorify him with my words and my deeds and my actions. I was so caught up for so much of my life trying to control circumstances, trying to control people, trying to manipulate my environment, trying to manipulate everything around me, trying to control it all. I hand it off to Christ now. I give my life over to Christ because he will put me where he wants me. I walk with Christ because I know when I walk with Christ, all is right in my world, and I live for Christ because when I am right with Christ, all is right in my world, and resilience comes to me from Christ. I am more resilient now than I have ever been. So you see here on my arm, I just came to the gym, finished my workout, now 53 minutes, one long mother effer, non-stop rolling set. But I just came back. When I hit the gym, I had been at the lab early in the morning for blood work, 8 a.m. blood work at the lab. We haven't had blood work now in a month. We want to check my liver function, want to make sure that's trending down even further. We're checking my ferritin levels, right? Again, the protein that stores iron in the body. The last time I checked was a couple of months ago, and the IP6 seemed to be working on the ferritin levels, on the iron storage, because my ferritin had come down again roughly from 880 down to 800. So again, I'd only been taking it for 3 weeks, but an 80-point drop ain't bad in 3 weeks. Now it's been a couple of months. Let's see where the ferritin levels are now. But we'll get my liver function checked. We'll get my ferritin levels checked. Every single day I'm at this gym, I'm connecting with Christ. And I'm going to tell you something, the nurse, the signs are everywhere. The signs are everywhere. Signs are everywhere. I'm talking to the nurse who's taking my blood. Haven't had her take my blood before, and I see I see on the whiteboard she has behind her, it says, "You are stronger than you know." And I asked her, "Did you write that? Did you put that up there?" She said, "Yeah, every day I put something up there. I find some inspiration. You never know when inspiration's going to strike." And I felt something pulling me, and I said to her, "That's amazing. That's awesome." I said, "You never know when the Holy Spirit is going to overtake you, is going to overcome you." And she looks at me and she said, "Whoa." She said, now you're on my level. Now you're speaking my language." And she stopped. And she was like, "Whoa, wait a second." She was like, and she went like this. She was overcome. And I felt it. I felt it. And I knew Christ was within her, as I know Christ is within me. Christ who lives within me is greater than that which is in this world. With Christ who lives within me, nothing in this world and no one in this world can stand in my way of delivering his healing message, his message of healing energy and healing love and healing radiance and healing brilliance, and that you can find hope and help, guidance and direction, peace and solace, motivation, inspiration, strength and solutions, hope and help, healing and love and purpose through Christ. Resilience through Christ. Resilience through Christ. It's one of my favorite words, because no matter how hard life hits you, you keep getting up and you keep moving forward in relentless fashion. Nothing's going to come at you harder than life, as Rocky says. But nothing, especially with Christ living within you, can stand in your way. You are more resilient. You are tougher than you know. You are stronger than you know. And with Christ within you, nothing will stand in your way. Stay strong. Stay resilient. Stay relentless. Stay hungry. Sunny mindset.